Hello, I'm making this video for Nick. First of all, I'm happy that you took the time to not only look at my video and listen to it, but comment and make a video on it. I think what's interesting is we have some different ideas, and you seem more read on the topic of astral projection. I can only say that I've had my own personal experiences, and I've read a little on it way back when. There's a particular book called, I think it was called Astral Projection or On Astral Projection by someone by the name of Fox, that I got most of my earlier education in. At any rate, I've had probably as many very hairy experiences with astral projection as I've had good experiences. But to my mind, I don't see every experience from a dream state as an astral projection. Part of what I remember from the literature is that you have an astral body on an astral plane, but there's an ethereal plane, and you have an ethereal body, and you may have who knows how many numbers of bodies on how many numbers of planes. I think these have more to do with hyperspace dimensionality than something called a astral plane myself. And I think that we exist on a number of different dimensions, and that those dimensions, whether we're aware of them or not, are always with us, and that either our body is affected by those dimensions or we have another body with them. I'm not really clear on the physics of this, but what helps me discuss these things in a way that I can make better sense of is, I like the term out-of-body experience or dream states as well, because in my experience, I see a dream as being a dream. I see a projection being an out-of-the-body experience. But I also see areas in between. It's funny because when I have an astral projection, I see very vividly, but I don't have a strong tactile sense. I had, a few weeks after a very good close friend died, I had an experience where it was an out-of-the-body experience. It wasn't a dream, but it wasn't an astral projection either. And it's interesting because I saw my friend, and I gave him this big hug, and the tactile sense was stronger than, it was as if it was real. And so I just call that a different experience, and I don't know how many different experiences. And the funny thing is, I tried to, I told him, everybody thinks you're dead. He says, I know. And I said, but you're not. And he would only respond, I'm here. He wouldn't say he wasn't dead. He'd only respond, I'm here. And I don't know where here was. If here was inside my head, or if I had gone to wherever it was that he had went to, or that we met halfway somehow. The strange thing is, there was nothing else but him and I. Everything else is black. Yet there was illumination. So my point is, I think that these states, they could even just be, the idea of thought forms. I'm not so quick to want to say that there are established rules, but there does seem to be certain correlates. And around the world, I always like to look for rational explanations. It's, one of my favorite people to study is Terence McKenna, and he talks about wanting to use reason. And it's interesting that the silver cord, as some people call it a golden cord, depending on what culture you're from. I know that there are paintings of this. There are paintings of people projecting with this cord from Chinese and from Western culture back to antiquity. So The experience is real, but I don't know that this set of physics isn't maybe based on a perception. We see with our eyes, we look forward, we hear, and we focus forward. So it seems to me that if you're being pulled back to your body, the natural inclination would be that you would see yourself withdrawing from that area. And what I'm trying to say is this silver cord phenomenon could just be an effect of how we focus our senses, or not. You know, I'm just kind of putting ideas out into how this could or could not work. Another interesting point I'd like to make, and I don't want to try and explain all my experiences and out of the body experiences, but I do want to mention one other. I was told that, you know, through Fox's book, that when you float out of your body and you look around the room and you walk through walls and doorways and all, you know, or fly and do all that kind of fun stuff, you think you're in the astral plane, but you're not. You're on the borderlands. The borderlands are where things here have their correlate in the astral plane, but the actual astral plane is nothing like the room that you know, float out into. And I thought, what, you know, I'm not sure what the actual astral plane is, but he did make it very clear that it's an entirely different realm. And the funny thing is, one time I had woken up in the middle of the night, and I looked around and nothing was familiar. I don't mean I looked around and saw the room and it was unfamiliar to me. I mean there was no room. There was nothing but black and green squiggly images all around me. And this is before I had ever tried anything psychedelic or had any drugs or done anything of that nature in my life. You know, the one or two times I might have experimented with something came after this. This was when I had been doing a lot of meditation. I was really, really in tune with things. This was, I believe I had gone to that place beyond the borderlands into an astral plane of some sort. And the strangest thing too is there's, I forget what the technical term is, but there's a term for when your brain will switch your senses around. I could feel the color green on my skin because of the light coming from all these green and black squiggles that were around me. And that's, and I'd love to try and tell you how green feels on your skin, but the only way I can tell you is it feels green. And people who you know, who were involved in drugs told me this sounded a lot like an acid trip. You know, but then I did came back into my body, and this experience is what kind of wants, you know, kind of wants me to, you know, link astral projection to, and a lot of these out-of-the-body experiences to something more in the line of what Terence McKenna would talk about as, you know, spiritual shamanic hyperspace. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know if this is anything that that is informational to you, but I think that anytime we share experiences like this, and other people can tune in and say, you know, in the very least, you know, I have some strange experiences too. I have some funny ideas. I've got a lot of things that I wish I could talk about, but, you know, family members, co-workers, they would all think I'm nuts if I try to discuss this. So, in the very least, I think it's good that there's maybe more dialogue happening today, and maybe we can inspire that. So, Nick, hey, again, thanks for you know, showing an interest. Your tops, okay? Goodbye. Ciao. Have a great day, and get some sleep. I left a message about valerian root and melatonin. It's just read it, okay? Bye.